go. Good morning, Coop.
Good morning.
Sunday.
Yeah, you too, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm starting to recycle coffee mugs. So I'm back to the Guana one. I've got my Eat, Sleep, Algorand, Repeat. I'm done with the 49ers mug. I think I had a Yoda one in there one week. What are you going with this week?
You make me feel so. This is just a beautiful white mug, and it's actually the joke mug from Christmas.
Oh, again. There you go.
I like the handle. I like a big handle. Do you know? Like I like to be able to get all four of my fingers in a mug.
Yeah. See, I have this problem. So I do the pinky out of the mug to like support it a little. I don't know, in a slightly different way when I lift it up. So I don't know. Maybe I need to.
That feels nice.
It's a little different, huh? Coffee techniques with Krypto and Coop. All right, so let's turn the chat on here today. As usual, we will try to take questions. Let me turn this on. Chat overlay. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go.
There it is.
Okay. Feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, do that. Ask them.
All right. I think that we've got a lot to cover today. In a fairly short amount of time, as per the usual.
Yes, right.
And we should start with Yieldly. Let's just jump into the biggest ASA crash so far in Algorand ecosystem history here. So so what do we know? When did it happen?
Algorand history. Well, okay, hold on. Before we dive into this, I was going to ask you: Are you feeling like your stream is good? I don't know. Is there anybody out there?
Mine shows 4 or 5 bars, but I mean, I don't know.
Oh, is it my stream? Is the question?
Yours looks good on my end.
All right, then I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm going to stop.
We got a few viewers. They can chime in.
All right. What's up, Brian? Okay, I forgot to. I connected. Okay, it doesn't matter. If I look fine, I look fine. So Yieldly, man. Yieldly is a rough week for Yieldly.
Yeah. So they had the distribution pool for headline.
Yeah.
It was an exploit. Basically, JT's on there. JT, I shot you an email, actually. I shot you an instant message. If you want to join us, JT, you can actually pop in and we could see your face here if you were so inclined, even if it's only briefly. Feel free to pop in, chime in on these topics. I know that actually JT was one of the first ones that called out the Yieldly issue. So I actually learned it from him, and he said, hey, this was an issue that he was aware of and was told that they were doing something with it. They were kind of working on it, and it turns out it didn't get fixed the way that it should have been fixed. And some bots took advantage of it. Wasn't they didn't get hacked or anything crazy, but there was an exploit, right?
Yeah. I guess what they said, it's not a security issue. It's just that particular pool, I guess. And I mean, I don't really actually know the specifics of this, but I heard that maybe that the smart contract was a third-party smart contract for the yield or for the HDL pool. Do you know?
Really? They were outsourcing some of that?
I don't know.
I had not.
I'm literally that for sure is something that I just read out in the wild.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, he's getting majorettes. What is the
majorettes? Majorettes. You know the thing where they like do the baton twirling?
Oh, nice, of course.
JT's awesome. Hanging out with family today. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Well, there you go.
He's spending a little bit of time with the Algo fam before he goes spend time with the real fam. So Yieldly, and also their CTO left, right? So they put out this tweet that said, "Hey, we're shaking things up a little bit," and I think my takeaway was they were going to have like some split side projects or joint ventures or something else was happening where it was an expansion. Do you think that was you're right? Yeah. Do you think that was PR? Stuff. Do you think it was really kind of more nefarious and they're just trying to put a good spin on it? What's your take?
Well, I don't know.
Hot seat time.
Yeah, right.
Hot take. Yeah, all right.
Well, the
nefarious might be overkill.
That's a bit drastic. Yeah. Well, so I mean, it was short lived, but the other day when the exploit came to light, I had heard from people that are respected people in the community that all the devs left Yieldly.
Right. All the devs. But that clearly can't be the case, right?
No, right. And that is like a ridiculous word. And so, but that's what I heard. And so I I tweeted, so wait, is there a mass exodus of Yieldly devs or something like that with the question mark? And then, people were like, oh man, you're the fudster of the year. You're just trying to crash Yieldly price so you can buy cheap ones. And I'm like, oh Jesus.
That's right. That's right. With all of our YouTube money, we're gonna go hard.
We're gonna go hard. Yeah. Well, and I'm obviously bullish on Yieldly, but so anyways,
me too.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I know the CTO is left, and then apparently a lot of devs followed suit.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's unusual if they did have some kind. If their CTO left, I think his name was Aaron. I think if he left, then it would make sense that some of the devs would follow him along with whatever new project he's coming up with.
Right. And then look, there might have been a disagreement. Like that's what happens. It doesn't mean that Yieldly is dead or, just because a group of people are upset at another group of people doesn't mean that the first mover in the Algorand DeFi needs to go away, and poof, it's gone. Yeah. But I mean, look, it's information that if you're heavily invested in Yieldly, I thought you might want to know. You know?
Sure.
Like you wake up to an exploit. And then there's strong rumors that there's a big exit of Yieldly devs. That's information, especially if you have a lot of your wealth into it, that you want to be on top of because, then you can make decisions. But anyway.
So Yieldly. So I think for them to, continue to grow and bounce back from this, they've got to come up with something new and different and, kind of expand a little bit. The same old, the staking pools. Their push for the staking pools, I appreciate it because obviously the nerd coin's on there. We had been in negotiations with them for several months before they put that initiative together. But I think it was cool to kind of help launch, in essence, a bunch of other coins or tokens and get them out there. But it didn't really move the needle. In fact, it might have hurt them in some way, shape, or form. I'm not exactly sure, how that happened, but. And then AlgoFi came up. Ryan says, "Hey, I moved everything over to AlgoFi." So they at the same time they were trying to push for more TVL, and I think the idea was, hey, if we put out these 20 coins, we're going to get all of their communities all bought into Yieldly. We're supporting the Algorand community. That TVL will grow. I think at some point, they probably did see it grow, but then AlgoFi came along, and they're starting to peel off some of that. So is Yieldly, do they go all in with the esports stuff? If you were Seb right now, would you be like, all right, F this staking thing. I'll put that on the back burner. Let's go all in on esports and stuff like that.
That's certainly nothing that anybody invested in the Yieldly token wants to hear. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, look, maybe, right? Maybe you might be like, all right, well, the Algorand community is, I don't think this is, look, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that right now it's just a shit storm and they need to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going to leave, but you pose an interesting question. What do you think? I mean, do you think are you worried that Seb's going to just be like, all right, never mind,
Right. No, I don't think so. I think that he's committed to the Algorand community. His actions to me have said so like many, many times. And, in every time that he's kind of come on to one of these shows, he reiterates the fact that, hey, he's committed to the Algorand community. But, just kind of play devil's advocate there. I think is a worthwhile, exercise periodically to go through. And I'm with you.
I mean, look, you're right. Like to look at it, you think, okay, look, there's a lot of problems, I guess, right now, and they've got the esports thing going. There's a lot of money over there. That's kind of like the next thing that's really happening out there. So yeah, you could see that would be a shiny object to kind of be like, all right, I'll just go over there. But usually that's not the right way to go. He should work through the problems here at Yieldly and grow these things together and continue to execute on the promises that he's made to the Algorand community. And I think that that's the more likely journey. But the more they kind of flounder, the more time people have to create real alternatives. And then if they don't execute on their NFT marketplace and their launch pad and onboarding, like being able to actually buy algo from the site and the things that they've been saying they're going to do for a long time. Yeah. eventually somebody's going to do it.
If you were Yieldly, I keep asking, I'm putting you in the hot seat again. Would you try and hire all of your own, devs away from somebody else, or would you maybe go for a partnership with somebody else who's got some of that in place now?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. What do you think? You're thinking they're going to create a partnership? I don't know.
I'm thinking they're going to create a partnership. Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading into
that was definitely a leading question there.
Yeah. No, but it's like, that's probably a good idea at this point.
I think they should, because they're more likely to have new products faster. It's really, really time consuming. The deeper I get into, our citrus stuff, because we've got, launchpad activities, we've got a DAO as a service, and, hell, we can't even really focus on that because I just need to deliver the product review page that has some smart contracts because we're paying out in bounties. And that alone is taking, a good amount of time. Everything is much slower than I anticipated. I should have anticipated that. We'll be, live in 60 to 90 days on a very, very basic site. And so for Yieldly to come out with anything that's going to move the needle, that's going to be exciting, it needs to be, kind of some significant movement. I feel like, that's probably going to happen with some partnerships or acquisitions. So growth by partnership or acquisition would be my guess for them. If I was Seb, I'd be looking at those opportunities right now. There's a lot of these smaller startups that don't have the business infrastructure, maybe, and could use a bigger company to come in and say, hey, let's partner with you. We'll create a joint venture or something, or we'll just acquire you or give you X amount of ownership in Yieldly, if that's a possibility. I don't know what Yieldly's corporate structure is or how that works in Australia or wherever they're located, but that's the way I would go. But that's me. That's my entire business life. I have made businesses off of, acquiring other business. My very first business was a catering company. There was a very famous restaurant in Hawaii, and he already had the kitchens, but didn't have a catering company. And I said, hey, let me just use your menu in your kitchen and basically your name, right? Because this guy was famous in Hawaii. And I said, I'll put together your catering company. And he said, so I don't have to do any of the work. I just have to, provide you this. And I would cook food in like the middle of the night for, events or what have you. And and it worked great. Yeah. So it wasn't really even my business. I just connected the people that serve the food to the people that make the food in the catering kitchen. And I was just the middleman. And so
there you go.
For me, that like acquisitions and partnerships seems like a way to go.
Yeah, that seems like a great idea. And by the way, so you're a chef, huh?
No, I'm definitely not a chef.
Oh, but you said you were in the middle of the night. You were cooking. You were just kind of cooking, whatever.
Well, I mean, I was overseeing. I paid somebody else to do the cooking.
Okay,
that's what I did.
You're overseeing. Okay. Yeah. No conversation. I can't derail. All right, so, yeah, man. Like, I think that's a great. Since Aeneas, I'm like totally like. I'm a little like. I woke up feeling a little under the weather, but we'll read that in a second. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I think, looking at partnerships, they announced some sort of partnership with AlgoFi, right? Did I see that? Yeah. So I don't know what that partnership is going to look like. I didn't read into that, but I'm sure it has something to do with, I don't know. And I think it's important for them to do that. I don't know. It's hard, man. It's a tough week. Yeah, like it's been a demoralizing week for sure. Like it's just everywhere you look, it's just like, oh shit, again.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all right. Well,
Yieldly is being
to be clear though, we're still both bullish on Yieldly. We both think that the outlook is good. And just for everybody watching, yes, we are not unbiased completely. I know somebody pointed out on Twitter that you were sponsored by Headline, which has pools there, and we're directly involved in the exploits. I obviously have a company that has token staking in pools on Yieldly. And so take this with a grain of salt because we are obviously a little bit biased, but we are also in this on the day to day. And I feel like the team there is strong.
And by the way, just for the record, I agree with you. And I don't feel biased. Yeah,
you don't feel any pressure from Headline, I'm sure.
No, they've given me zero pressure about anything, by the way. And that's another thing. People are like, oh, Aaron. And I was like, this guy has literally been one of the coolest, easiest people to be in business with. He has never asked me of anything. I didn't have to sign a non-disparagement. He's like none of that. Yeah. Like, so there's literally no pressure for me to do anything. So, and I feel that way. I mean, look, I feel like I want Yieldly to succeed. I want it to succeed because I want the entire Algorand ecosystem to succeed. So if competition happens and Yieldly falls behind, I'll be rooting for whoever at this point. I mean, obviously there are smaller positions that I own, and that's where it gets complicated, I guess, because it's like hard to be like, I hate Yieldly when I'm invested in Yieldly. I mean, that's like not an easy
if you're holding the tokens, then it's hard to talk out of one side and invest in the other side for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about somewhat lighter of a topic here. Let's talk about the soccer team partnership. This is a women's soccer team that we've partnered with, sort of like the drone type of a deal, where we've got some advertising there. And I was surprised there was some pushback on this thing because it was a smaller audience, maybe because it's a women's soccer team, not kind of mainstream. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've talked to babes. I've talked about this in my rant the other day. And look, I think that what happened is that a lot of people missed what this actually is. I think people immediately saw, oh, okay, so Algorand is sponsoring a women's soccer team, which I guess is sort of true. I mean, the jerseys are going to say Algorand on it, but it's Gotham FC. It is, I think it's the premier professional women's soccer team, and they're doing a whole thing. You know what I mean? Like this isn't just sponsorship. They're doing like scavenger hunts at the game and NFT giveaways and putting the tickets on the blockchain and being able to buy merchandise with crypto. And like they're doing a whole thing that we would probably all like to see, at Madison Square Garden and Boston Garden and all the different, like that's where this is headed, you would think, to incentivize people going in real life. Like there's extra stuff, putting these sports experiences on the blockchain. So this is also a test case. But I did make the point, like, look, not every women's sport is my favorite, but if there is one that I like, it's women's soccer. They're completely dominant over here. So I think that women's soccer is awesome. And, whatever. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with the test case scenario. So if you're going to bring this to a Madison Square Garden or the NFL or NBA, hockey, whatever, baseball, whatever it is, I think you've got to have a test case in a smaller league setting first, where you kind of work out the details and you've got some trial runs, and you can say, hey, proof of concept, here it is. This was not just a novelty or one-off thing. This could be all the time, and it could have real significant impact on your bottom line. If they use some kind of a USDC stablecoin, they can reduce Visa or MasterCard fees. Just imagine all the money gets spent at a stadium on a regular basis. They're paying 4% to Visa on that. Like, if I was a stadium owner, like I'd jump all over this.
Absolutely. I mean, it kind of baffles me a lot of why crypto isn't being like adopted, like Amazon. Like, why aren't they figuring this out quicker? Probably. I mean, I'm sure they are about to figure it out, but it's like the crypto can beat credit cards, and it saves them so much money.
Mazzoni, I love that Mazzoni tunes in every week. Thank you, sir. He wants to know, hey, can we put up an algo donation address so we don't have to support using USD? We should do that. I don't know why we haven't done that yet.
We should do that.
We'll figure out we'll put together a joint account and send that out.
Yeah, well, I'll have it automatically, because we're so bullish. We'll have it automatically converted
over to Yieldly. We're only taking Yieldly donations now.
Okay, just digging in our heels. Oh man.
All right. Somebody did post. They saw the NFT of a soccer player, and I saw.
Oh yeah, it looked great.
Pretty cool.
Algo House, and her name. Oh man, what's her name? Mia? No, I don't know.
You're talking about Mia Hamm. Mia Hamm is famous though.
She's very famous. Very famous. To
yes, right. To multi-sig, right? We can set that up.
We could do that. Let's do it. It'll be fun.
All right, next week, Mazzoni, we'll get it done.
And then we'll as it grows, then it'll be a 2-person down. We'll have to vote on things that we use the money for, like stupid hats for the episode or something.
New coffee mugs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Your donations will be
branded coffee mugs.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that the NFT from Algo House was really cool, and I think that it's going to be mutually beneficial for the soccer team and for Algorand. And I mean, I'd be interested to go to a stadium that Algorand was creating this kind of experience at.
John wants to give me a new headset, right? I'll work on it.
Okay. I know. I just have these. So
yeah, right. All right, let's go with the loft. See, these are like the signature headsets, though. I even got like the NFTs with the headset, and actually, like, I don't actually need the headset.
Oh, you're not even using it.
It does a little bit, but not really. Like
wow,
the sound comes from here. It's really just for show.
Yeah, I was gonna say Monty's one of those guys that wears. Are there actual lenses in your glasses, Monty?
These are real glasses.
This whole nerd thing is all an act,
right? It's just a shh, quiet. Don't throw me under the bus. And it's not. I didn't even use the microphone. It's not this microphone. It's this microphone that we use. So.
Oh right, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, you're gonna catch somebody's gonna catch you out, out
in the wild. I'm gonna be
have super cool leather Dolce awesome shirt.
It's a whole different look.
Smoking spliffs with all the kids. I like Dr. Disrespect. It's all for a show.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, Lofty. Well, yeah, this is also something. This is a space that you're really informed on too. So, I know Lofty. They announced this week that they're going to start accepting Algo and what was it, USDCA?
I think it's USDC. Yeah. So we've got the ability now to invest not just in fiat, which was cool. It was easy to invest, and then you get the NFTs and you can hold it in your wallet. But now you can actually do the initial investing with crypto, and so the entire exchange from start to finish now is on crypto. So you can get paid out in crypto, you can invest in crypto, and you're holding it as an NFT. It's a much more native process now. It feels a little bit more, in line with what Algorand was, and looking for initially. I was actually surprised that how little Lofty actually interacted with the Algorand blockchain, because you were investing in fiat, you're putting like a debit card or credit card or bank, transfer in there. You were holding the NFT, but then they paid you out when you want to get paid out in your rent. You got paid out in cash and whatever your native currency. I think Lofty's only U.S. investors, so only allows non-U.S. holders to pay out in Algo. Yeah, right. They're still making some pretty good progress. I like in that they are keeping it on chain now.
Yeah, that makes a lot. So before, basically, they were generating the NFTs on the Algorand blockchain, but all of the other business was done just like a normal business.
And if truth be told, if you lost your NFT, you locked your wallet or something, you still had full KYC on the website. Like, they could still figure out who you are, and you'd still get your rental income, right? Because you're still getting taxed on it. You're still getting they issue. They're fully compliant. So the NFT was really kind of for show. Initially, and now with this move, it's much more in line. It's a real use case now, in my opinion. It's interesting. I didn't realize that they moved to Miami. Thanks, Ryan, for sharing that. So they were in Tennessee, I want to say, initially, and a lot of their initial offerings were in the immediate vicinity where they were.
Right
now, they're in Miami. They've expanded. Like all of the properties they have now, that they're multi-states. I would like to see their AI in work at some point in time, because their thing is it's lofty.ai, right? So they've got an AI that tells them what properties are going to have the highest return.
Right.
And I haven't seen a whole bunch of that really, be demonstrated yet, but I don't know.
Well, it sounds like there's some guys, Ryan had a good experience with, he had a $500 investment. He withdrew it. Everything was fine. That's good. I mean, that's great. So isn't there another Miami-based company called Proppy or something? Or
Proppy is based out of Southern California. They just did the house though for Michael Arrington as an NFT.
That's right. That's why I know about it. Yeah, because I saw Michael Arrington tweeting about it.
My other company is actually partnering with them. So we just signed up 5 of our agents to work with Proppy as a pilot program, put out a press release. You heard it here first. So Nada will have a press release about the pilot program partnering with Proppy. And we're actually looking to track down the crypto mortgage folks, which Pocket Properties is actually, they're next on our list. We're going to talk about them too.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I didn't even know that you were partnering up with Proppy. I set you up for that perfectly.
You did.
Completely unaware.
I follow them. They've got a meetup. I think this next week actually in Miami. A real estate blockchain meetup. Proppy will be there.
What is Proppy? Is that an ERC20 or what is that?
I believe they are an ERC20. Their own native currency. Yeah. What's interesting for us is they've got offer management and transaction coordination, and if you opt into it, you can check out the title on blockchain, and so it's a pretty cool process.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you do you own any Lofty?
I do. Yes. So I think I own 4 or 6 different properties now at this point in time. Not a ton, right? They're only $50 each. So, initially I did just so I can get involved and kind of report on it and show videos, that sort of thing. So I think my 4 or 6 are, some of their earliest offerings.
Got it.
JT, I think, has quite a bit in there. Ryan obviously did as well. He had at least $500 at one point in there. So
yeah, JT's a real estate agent, right?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting world, the Lofties and the pocket properties. Vesta Equity actually made some announcements too. They're going live. So we didn't even touch on Vesta Equity, but they're going live as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, $15 in 4 months, but that, the whole, when I get into conversations with these guys, I'm a dad. I stand around at the park sometimes, and people on to me. They know that I talk about crypto, so they like to talk to me about it. And there's a lot of skeptical people out there, but every time I kind of break down the use cases for NFTs and real estate, you see these guys that, serious guys, they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. Started. It's where it starts to NFTs start to click for people. A certain type of person is the real estate use case. So
I like it because, number one, it's a much more conservative type of investment. So generally speaking, real estate is a safer bet than, cryptocurrencies in general, right? So like Ryan said, hey, his $500 stayed $500, but he made $15. Yeah. So it's a much lower rate of return, but it's much more like not guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's a reliable, steady source of interest or income or dividends or whatever they're calling it on the distributions. And so I don't know. We're working on fractional home ownership. Pocket Properties is doing that too. Pocket Properties is doing something different. They're working on the debt side and the equity side,
right?
Which I hadn't really seen done before aggressively. And the debt side is, I haven't dived in. You haven't dove in. I didn't do that thing. But it sounds like DeFi. Right. So if we're pooling resources to lend out to a homeowner, that's DeFi. Right. So if we're buying their debt, that's what we're doing for a rate of return of, 4% or something like that. So relatively low rate of return. But, mortgage-backed securities, debt like that on a house is relatively stable. You're sure you're to get paid back, most of the time. It's a pretty reliable source of income. People tend to pay their mortgage payments or any kind of debt payment that involves their primary dwelling. So that's interesting.
That's got to be that is interesting. Where's Pocket? I don't really know a lot.
They're based out of Atlanta, I believe. They were silent for a long time, so they had been on the Algorand website for a year and a half, I think. Like as long as I've been researching them. But they hadn't been really active. They weren't doing anything. It was a smaller team. I think they were just kind of waiting for funding and get a few things in line. And now all of a sudden in the last month, there started to be some activity again. And, I'm glad because I think that there's, a lot more use cases to be made with real estate. And that market is so huge. You're talking about $22 trillion worth of equity that's just available in the US. So it's a big market.
Yeah, I mean, it feels just overall, I feel like everything is such a mess globally and the markets are a mess. And of course, like oil spiking is exasperating inflation and the markets just are hard. It's hard. So people are getting very upset and cagey because we are entering into a bear market. But bear markets don't have to last what they used to in crypto. It doesn't mean that it's gone for years. It could be a shorter thing, but it's just, it does feel, I stand by it, that Algorand is building this thing out, and we are at a hard point right now that you gotta, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep talking about it. And I think we're going to get on the other side of this. It's just a bad moment right now for everybody.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially if you own a lot of yield league.
Especially if you own a lot of yield league.
And if you, or if you bought algo at 250, you're probably not so excited either.
Yeah, but I do feel like there's a lot of use cases, and use case will trump for me the current market pricing. And so as long as that ecosystem expands and we get into these smaller locations and we do have proof of concept, then I feel like people are just naturally going to see, okay, it makes sense. It's less expensive. It's more efficient. Why don't we make this move now? And, if they say, hey, you know what, shit's already hit the fan, financially, like we're already taking some risks. Let's go ahead and try this. And if they can squeeze out, in the case of that, that women's soccer league, an extra 3% or something like that, then I think people are going to look for that extra to try and squeeze out. And so now might be Algorand's time to expand market share. Yeah. And then when the bulls come around again, it'll take off that much more.
Yeah. And right now, just investing in general, you want to be investing in real things. And this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm telling myself, is that okay, so if a company doesn't make any money, it's probably, unless they are just completely demolished and you're like, I love this company and I'm going to hold it for a bit. But right now in the short term, things that don't actually deliver a product and aren't needed are going to probably continue to be under pressure. So different, very speculative cryptos, there's going to be a lot. My guess is that a lot of crypto projects are going to die over the next, there's going to be a lot of crypto projects that die. And I don't believe that algo is, I think it's just unique in the sense that I think it does provide value and it's on the uptrend. So I think it's a real thing, like a Bitcoin and stuff like that. Anyways, I'll get off my high horse about that.
Right. I agree with you. I think that Algorand is going to be one of the last, coins standing. And there's no doubt that, with zero downtime and the efficiencies that, when push comes to shove, people are going to say, okay, let's migrate over here, or this is where we want to build.
And we're clearly headed in the thing, Algorand upgrades. I mean, this is created by the guy that, created zero knowledge proofs and VRF and, all of these incredible things. And now just this week, it's like, okay, contract to contract calls, smart contracts, and these dApps can get way more sophisticated. And then you have state proofs and Falcon keys. And this is an incredible tool for bridging and, connecting blockchains and creating that kind of multi-chain world that we're headed to, and then where Algorand can basically be at the center of it. It's just another Algorand kind of flexing its technical ability once again. So it's good. Yeah.
And so Algorand upgrades, even in a down market, they are pushing forward for expansion and for, market share growth. Yeah. And the team seems to be like they're immune to any kind of price fluctuations or anything like that, because the technology team is completely separate.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess, they're impacted somewhat by, if pricing is stable, it might help them some in some of their endeavors. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that, I don't know actually the token. I don't know what they're doing. But I mean, Algorand Inc., Algorand Foundation, they're separate for sure. Yeah. And I imagine, they're a company over there. They're a tech company. So they're probably, I don't know. It's not like they're getting paid in algo, I don't think. I'm sure they're getting paid in money, but in cash. But I don't know. I actually don't know. I think that they're just pushing ahead. They're just doing the thing, All
right. So speaking of pushing ahead, Borderless Capital wants to spend more money. They got Fund 2, and they put out a tweet that said, hey, interesting idea. We're thinking about making this a DAO, this Fund 2. So just DAOing the secondary fund, not all of Borderless activities. Would the community be in favor of this? The tweet poll last I saw was overwhelmingly yes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's awesome. I think Ryan asked, were the upgrades created by devs in Boston? They were. That's for sure. Yeah. But I think, I don't know anything more than that tweet, but I think it's an awesome, I think it's a great idea. Right.
These upgrades without shutting down or slowing down. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they just keep improving on the train as the train has already left the station.
Yeah, it keeps on going.
Right. Yeah,
You
it
don't
just
have to
keeps on
stop.
going.
No stopping to change the wheels and all the things. It just keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah. So, what do you know about? So, what was the proposal from Borderless? So, they're basically saying they have a secondary fund, and should we turn that secondary fund into a DAO?
A DAO, yes. So as I was reading it, I actually voted yes. So I put out my tweet and I said, "Yep, I think this is an awesome idea," and encourage everybody else to go vote. Now, is there an opportunity in a DAO for somebody to lobby for, maybe some I don't know, some decisions that wouldn't help everybody? Yeah, I think there's that possibility that somebody like you or I or JT or somebody's got a YouTube channel or some I don't know, some influence, or wouldn't it be weird if like a Kyle from Valhalla, Kyle was like, hey, you guys should go vote on this project here to spend it here, and he was lobbying for it effectively. Now, is that something that could happen? I guess it is. And it is entirely possible that the masses could vote for something that is detrimental, that they just like see as a quick fix, or a quick payout. Should we vote to just I don't know, I'll buy all Mazzoni's NFT project that he's got put it right.
All the funds on NFTs that I have for sale.
yeah, right. So could that happen? I mean, I guess so. But in general, I think it's an interesting experience. It's just a ton of money. Like maybe they should create a fund 3 and test it out with 10 million instead of.
I in these DAOs they can create rules that that certain types of proposals can't pass. There can be that, so you can have some safeguards versus that. And I think the overall idea is, in general, when people all collectively put their minds to it and vote, that usually you work in the best interest. You're not going to all collude to do something harmful. I guess you could collude to do something that is, harmful overall, but beneficial to you. But I guess that's what you're talking about. But I think that, for example, like in the Algorand DAO, governance DAO proposal, they talk about how, the proposal can't be harmful and, things like that, or overly selfish, or it's not the words, but.
Okay.
So, I mean, decentralization in general is a messy thing. Yeah. So.
It definitely is. Mazzoni says he'd give us $3 million algo to continue this show. I think we should rename the show, though, Coladas with Krypto and Coop. Okay. And then we just record on the beach.
I don't want $3 million. Yeah, there we go. That's what we should do. We should come up with a grant proposal where we request a slick $3 million algo, which is what? It's only that's not even $2 million right now.
Yeah. Easy.
Easy. So that's cool. And then we'll just do this from the beach. I'll be completely white and hairy. It'll be fantastic. It'll be wonderful look.
You know what we should do, actually? So we could do this. So we could hire a couple of developers and hire one ETH developer, one Algorand developer, and say, okay, we're doing the EVM. we're gonna apply for the Ethereum virtual machine grant or super grant or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And
and we'll just hire 2 great people, pay them half of what they give us, because we and then
we coordinated it, right? Remember earlier I was talking about partnerships and just putting people together. I mean,
that's what mergers, that's what acquisitions are, right? Jeez.
Yeah.
Mazzoni's solving our problems.
There we go. I like it.
All right. Yeah, the Borderless DAO, man.
All right, are we done with that one? Let's talk about Verdex.
Oh yeah, what is that?
And I don't know if I should have capitalized the D, because it's Verdex, right? It's one of their main products is the
or
Dex.
is it Verdex?
Oh I don't know.
Green,
it is the green. Yeah, green. there is that green crypto kind of I don't know, play on words there.
It looks like it's Verdex.
Is it Verdex? Okay.
Well, but they
do have a Verdex.
But they're a Dex. Well, okay. So I was tagged in a post by them today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I looked into it for, the 5 minutes before we came on.
Yeah.
And it looks good. It looks like they're creating some DeFi tools that would be wonderful,
Yeah. So
like to
they've
help
got
solve impermanent loss.
yeah, they got the AMM, they've got a swap product, they've got some DAO functionality, they've got some launch pads. This is
Yeah.
what else they got on here? I had them up here for a second. Oh, they got a wallet. I didn't even realize they had a wallet. So
I didn't see
they're
that.
very ambitious. I didn't have time to look, deep into the backers. I usually like to do that and follow the money and see like, okay, what's their history, what's their resume of, what's on their LinkedIn, that sort of thing. They sort of self-proclaimed that they had, years and years of experience, and I just haven't had time to verify that. But I don't know if they are in fact a legitimate business organization with these kind of big plans. I think that's good. We were talking about competition earlier, and maybe a competitor to Yieldly and AlgoFi and Tiny Man. I think that all of these are good. And we didn't even talk about Humble. Humble's making its way to market in about 10 days, I want to say. Humble will hit the market.
Well, right. And then, by the way, just Verdex or Verdex, they have a foundation grant. They are being audited right now. And it looks like Kyle, we talked about, Kyle Wang is an advisor there. Partnership with Algo Oracle, Algo Guard, Kelly Callahan's. I don't know what that means.
She retweeted them.
She retweeted them. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Reach Summit, March 18th in Austin, Texas. I won't be there. I'm leaving on the 18th. I'll be there.
Got it. Okay.
When are you going to be there?
The Algorand event is on the 14th. So I was going to go down just on the 14th, or maybe 13th and 14th, something like that.
Yeah.
So only a couple of hot, coming in hot, staying for a good 36 hours and then bouncing.
All right. Well, we'll meet at the Algorand thing. I'll be there. I'm coming in on the 13th, and I'll be there until the 18th.
Okay. So you got a few extra days there. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm going to hang out.
The whole Reach team, I think, is going to be there as well. And
cool.
We're trying to figure out if we can send a couple people. They got a boot camp kind of a deal going on there too.
You were early to a blockchain. No, I'm not going to finish reading that.
Right.
Are there only 10 people watching? Well, at least we know all. John's watching, Ryan and Jason.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can, when you can name all your viewers, you're doing great.
Yeah. Well, we know everybody. All right. Audience question. So one of the questions that came up was, hey, should Algorand have more incentive programs like AlgoFi did, where they rewarded early users with Algorand, essentially, right? I think the payout was an algo.
Yep.
And should people be using some of their foundation to just straight up bribe people for early adoption? Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I say yes. I mean, what else are staking rewards? The early staking rewards were ginormous, and the early staking rewards on Yieldly were fantastic. And every time a new ASA comes up there, the staking rewards are through the roof. I think that this is a tried and true method of getting folks in to use your product and build up a user base. Is just here's some free whatever denomination we're talking about. Free stuff. It's hard to beat free.
Yeah, it's hard to beat free. It's an incentive. It's an incentive, That's what this is. It's an incentive for me to use AlgoFi, and it's an incentive for you to use AlgoFi, and it's incentive for us to stick around and to put money into it. And for people, as people are building more and more things, so that there's people here, and then people will come. You're right. It's a tried and true method, and I think it's the right move. Yeah, I do. And it's very important and that's why at ETH Denver, they were so focused. Like, we need to get EVM, AVM compatibility, and we need to pull, start getting some of that money from Ethereum into Algorand for sure. If you build it, they will come. I mean, that's it. There we go. Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner.
All right. So we're going to put together the Super Grant Foundation submission later this week, right?
Yeah.
We get
3 million.
Servando's watching. We get Servando to help build on ETH side, and somebody else, Mazzoni. Mazzoni's probably already working on this.
Mazzoni's gonna he's gonna make sure I get recouped.algo, right? That's what Mazzoni's working on.
I would not be surprised at all the other various things that what is it, Texan Labs or TXN Labs? What, I forget how you say it, but they're probably working on a ton of this stuff.
Yeah, right. And that's him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's them. NF
That's
domains.
him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think, okay, what was there any other audience questions? They wanted us to talk. Oh, you talked about that. What impresses me too is that these are shutting down. Okay. Yeah. Gonna go back to watching Man United versus City game. Okay. Oh, that was
No Algorand sponsorship there yet. We're working on it.
No, but yeah, isn't there a problem with one of their owners? Oh no, that's Chelsea. The Russian owns Chelsea.
Oh yeah, they're trying to sell them
I don't know a lot about footy.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just want to get that shirt with the Algorand logo on it. I don't know what that.
I'm not wearing the Algorand logo today. I'm wearing the Crypto Nerd hoodie.
That's Female Soccer's is Wild. Yeah.
Women. Oh, they want the jersey with the hood with the Algorand. They're not talking about me. They're talking about the jerseys for the female soccer team.
Oh, I know. And you can buy one. You can pre-order one for, I think it's $100. And they have, like, if you're, you don't have to wear a woman's. They have unisex. So yeah, you can definitely get one of those. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't see any other questions. Don't you?
I think we're good.
Oh yeah. Why don't we talk about your token
news?
Yeah.
So you can now stake on AlgoStake. So AlgoStake is live. I think we've got incentives there for the Algorand Crypto Nerd liquidity pool. Payout is pretty handsome there. We are still on Yieldly. They have assured us all that, hey, your pools there are safe. So we are still there. Last I checked, there was 2.4 million Yieldly staked in our Yieldly for Nerd pool. So I think we were the second largest pool on Yieldly. Nice. We have been in conversations. Servando and I, actually, Servando's on here. He's watching. He's our lead. Kind of on the back end running stuff. We've been in conversations all week with various companies looking at. I've been harping on this all week because of partnerships and acquisitions. So we've been talking to a lot of folks behind the scenes to make stuff happen for the Crypto Nerd community sooner rather than later. And of course, our partnership with Citrus is moving forward as well. So the Citrus website, phase 1, where they've got the sort of the project review status is coming up. You will initially see just like a list of all the companies, everybody in the Algorand system, and be able to sort by tags, that sort of thing, kind of like Algorand is doing now. But we'll also list links to videos that like third-party providers like you and I make, right? So in addition to what the Algorand official site's going to have, you're also going to have links to like a Reddit post or an algo rant that specifically calls out Zone, or whatever it is, good, bad, ugly. If there's news out there, we're going to link to it. And so we'll be kind of an unbiased third-party search. So when people say, hey, go do your own research, there's a new project, you can link there. And even though you won't be able to rate right away, you'll be able to at least find all the information that's out there.
Cool.
So that's phase 1. It's coming. We've got some sort of plan to put, I think you kind of like Headline does, where you need like 10,000 nerd to access some of the nicer features there. We'll have a bunch of stuff that's free because we were talking about it's hard to beat free. We want to get a bunch of that out there.
Are you going to go after like ad revenue and stuff like that?
Eventually. We don't want to have too much of that initially, and we don't need it initially. Eventually, though, you're going to get to the point where somebody's got like a premium placement, and then they're going to have their own Citrus rating. And if you pay for premium placing, make sure you don't have a Citrus rating of like 4 stars, right? So, I think that the folks who are going to ask for placement are probably going to be well respected, but that's coming down the road.
Cool. And what about the use case for your NFTs? Jason asks.
Later on down the road. So that's Launchpad DAO activities. So we want NFTs to work as a multiplier for your investment. Or, I mean, another way of thinking about it is maybe like a discount or a coupon code. So if you own a common NFT, then maybe you get a discount where instead of having to pay 100% of the price, you pay 98% of the price. If you own a crypto rare, instead of paying 100% of the price, maybe you pay 80% of the price, something along those lines. So there'll be, kind of like discount cards, or sometimes depending on how it's either a multiplier, like your algo is worth 120%, or it's a discount. We haven't figured out the logistics there, but same thing. More bang for your buck.
Got it. Sounds good, man. You're building it.
Yeah, we are. We are plugging away on the back end, slowly but surely. Every day we make just a little bit more progress.
That's so cool, and it's definitely a necessary thing. So I'm stoked to see you guys. Whatever, build this out. and seeing it, because it's absolutely a tool that people need, is to be able to search these different projects, especially, you know, now we've seen it. We've all experienced these rugs, and we see, you know, the truth is important. And yeah.
There's a good piecemeal, like, you know, of resources out there. Algo Scout will kind of give some people alerts. You've got, you know, a few folks in the industry who are kind of like, you know, will shout out some tweets or, you know, keep us in the loop. But there's no, you know, one stop kind of shop. No, I can't go to Miami. Not in April.
Oh, I can't actually. No, I have during that time, my niece is getting married, so I'm gonna have to go to that.
All right. Well, next one we're gonna have to circle back around to.
But we will be in Austin, Tom, at South by Southwest. So if you're there,
check us out.
Yeah, for sure.
We do a special episode of this from there.
We should. We can do it. If you're there on the 13th.
Yeah. I'll make sure we got equipment.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll have my stuff. But I'm not arriving until 11 your time. So I'm right when we usually start is when I'm flying in. But I mean, if we wanted to do one of these on the later end on that Sunday, it's not like I'm going to be, you know, I'm flying from 2 hours away. It's not a big deal.
Okay. All right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. Because that's this Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So next week, folks, we'll have a new time to be determined.
And we might be hanging out together and do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll figure that out for sure. Cool.
All right, we'll figure that offline. All right, that's all I got this week. As usual, I got that Twitter space to go join.
Yeah, aren't you guys doing something special for Ukraine today? Is that what I read?
Yes. So Blau wanted to have some specific dialogue about the how Algorand can contribute or support the Ukrainian community and kind of get some feedback there, which is cool. I interesting dialogue. I'm sure is going to take place.
For sure.
All right, everyone.
All right, guys. All right, thank you for watching.